Right now, massive crowds, they are turning up all across the country to protest the actions of President Donald Trump. No Kings rallies have been drawing an estimated 9 million people in various cities. Organizers say there's more than 3,000 events taking place in all 50 states. Center stage for them is in the Minnesota capital of St. Paul, where federal agents fatally shot 2 people monitoring the president's immigration crackdown. One of the many No Kings rallies was here in Jeffersonville. Protesters voiced their concerns about many of the controversial talking points of the Trump administration, from the war in Iran to enforcement operations of the Department of Homeland Security and ICE, all the way to the economy. One protester stressed the importance of keeping the gatherings peaceful.
The thing is, you can't go and commit acts of violence and ask people not to commit acts of violence against you. You know, it just doesn't work. That's not the way it is.
There were at least 6 No Kings rallies all throughout our viewing area today. The White House, meanwhile, has dismissed the nationwide protests as the product of, quote, leftist funding networks with little public support.